Well, hello everybody. We've got a beautiful August summer day. We are at Spooner Summit, which is the highest point on the east side of Lake Tahoe. And since Lake Tahoe is in our backyard, we thought we'd take a nice summer drive, go all the way around the lake and show you guys the beautiful scenery of the Jewel of the Sierras, Lake Tahoe. It's about 72 miles around the lake and takes about 3 hours. But come along for the ride and let's check out the beautiful scenery of Lake Tahoe, California and Nevada. Lake Tahoe has a surface area of 194 square miles, and it's the fourth deepest lake in North America at 1,645 feet. It also contains enough water to cover the entire state of California to a depth of 14.5 inches. That's a lot of water. There's one tunnel that you have to go through if you drive around the lake, and it's known as Cave Rock Tunnel. Back in the Lincoln Highway days, the road went around the rock over this rickety little old bridge. The stonework for each end of the bridge is still visible today. But by the late 1920s, the traffic had gotten too bad to keep using this single lane route, so the first tunnel bore was finished in 1931, much to the horror of the local Indian tribe, as Cave Rock was considered a very sacred place to them. And then again in 1957, the traffic got heavy enough again that they built a second tunnel so that traffic going each direction had its own bore. One of the more popular beaches along the east side of the lake is Zephyr Cove Beach, and this is also where you catch the MS Dixie, a replica paddle boat that gives Lake Tahoe lake cruises. This is a must-do event if it's your first time to Tahoe, but make your reservations early as they commonly sell out. Going a few miles further south, you come to Nevada Beach in the community of Round Hill. Nevada Beach has a very long stretch of nice, soft, inviting sand. But be sure and show up early because it can get quite crowded on a warm summer day. As you reach the south end of the lake, you come into two adjoining cities that most people believe are one. The first city you'll reach is Stateline Nevada, which you might guess is right on the state line between California and Nevada. This is where the world-famous Edgewood Golf Resort and Country Club is located, and they host the world-famous celebrity golf tournament here every July. This is an incredibly beautiful place right along the shores of Lake Tahoe. Stateline is also where all the casinos are located. As everyone knows, Nevada was the only state with gaming for many decades. We just crossed the California-Nevada border. We're in South Lake Tahoe now instead of Stateline, Nevada. All of downtown South Lake Tahoe has been redeveloped over the last decade. All the old vintage mom and pop stores have been ripped out. We have all this modern conglomerate shopping, residential hotel combinations. Starting to look like Vail, Colorado around. This is where you get on the gondola if you want to go to the top of Heavenly. Riding the Heavenly Gondola up to the top of the Heavenly Ski Park is another very popular thing to do during the summer months. The gondola is 2.4 miles long and it takes about 20 minutes to reach the top. You gain nearly 3,000 feet of elevation from lake level to the top of the Heavenly Ski Park. It's a little pricey, but the views make it all worthwhile. Another beautiful beach right along the state line is Lakeside Beach. This beach is conveniently located within walking distance of most of the major hotels in the downtown area. It does have a pretty pricey day use fee though, so you'll want to make sure you plan on spending a significant portion of your day at the beach. If you're looking for a free alternative to get to the water's edge, right in the middle of South Lake Tahoe is El Dorado Beach. Now, calling this a beach is a little misleading as there's very little sand here. But this park does offer a beautiful panoramic view of the lake. It offers lots of picnic tables with plenty of shades if you're looking for a great place to have a picnic lunch. And they do rent kayaks at this location. Just a short distance further west from El Dorado Beach is Reagan Beach. Again, not really a beach as there's no sand here, but it is a nice small park that is pretty much only known to locals. It does have a large grass area, which is nice, plenty of picnic tables, and since it's pretty much only visited by locals, it's rarely crowded. If you're looking for a nice quiet place to take some nice panoramic pictures of the lake without the crowds, this is your place. By the time we made it through South Lake Tahoe, we were hungry for lunch. We stopped at the Burger Lounge. They do have nice indoor seating, but it was such a beautiful day we decided to sit in their picnic area at the back of the restaurant, and we even talked Model A with some of the other patrons. Continuing to head out of South Lake Tahoe north on Highway 89, we came to the Camp Richardson area. This is an extremely popular place for those that like to camp at Lake Tahoe. There are several large campgrounds here and stores to cater to those campers. Be sure and make your reservations early though, as it commonly does sell out. Just beyond Camp Richardson is the Talek Historic Site and Kiva Beach. This location was where some very wealthy individuals built summer homes at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. And then in 1965, when the granddaughter of the original builder passed away, the Forest Service acquired the land with the sole purpose of increasing public access to the beaches on the south end of Lake Tahoe. This area is completely free to enjoy, has a fantastic beach, the water is perfectly clear, it's great for kayaking and canoeing. This is a great place to go. It's a little ways out of town, but it's definitely worth it. As we continue our way around the southwest corner of the lake, the road narrows and starts to gain elevation quickly. Climbing up almost 1,000 feet above the water, you get some spectacular panoramic views from up here, but be sure and keep your eyes on the road as the road starts to get pretty windy with some serious hairpin turns. This section of the road does not remain open over the winter. There's just too much snow up here. It's too hazardous to drive in icy conditions, and there's always avalanche danger. Eventually you climb up to an extremely narrow ridge line where you have beautiful Cascade Lake to the south and incredible Emerald Bay to the north. Emerald Bay sits at the extreme southwest corner of Lake Tahoe and is considered by many to be the most scenic part of the entire Tahoe Basin. They say Emerald Bay is the most photographed bay in the world. It has Finette Island in the middle of it and the Viking home castle at the extreme end of it. The castle was completed in 1929 by Miss Laura Josephine Knight. She built the castle in the Scandinavian style because the bay reminded her of the fjords that she had seen on a trip to Scandinavia. That is the MS Dixie, an old paddle boat that goes all over Lake Tahoe. There used to be two of them. We also used to have the Tahoe Queen, but unfortunately it burned down a number of years ago. So we have just the MS Dixie left. There is a large parking area at the end of Emerald Bay. It's also the trailhead if you want to hike down to the castle. The parking area gives you spectacular views of Eagle Falls in the early spring and summer months when the snow melt is running heavy. But arrive early as the parking lot does fill up fast. Highway 89 does stay pretty high on the hill and away from the water's edge for quite a ways on the west side of Lake Tahoe, but it does eventually work itself back down to the water's edge when you reach the community of Tahoma. Between Tahoma and Tahoe Pines, you drive right along the edge of the lake and get to take in those beautiful views once again. And of course, we can't pass up a photo opportunity. We did eventually make it to Tahoe City, which is probably best known as where the outflow of Lake Tahoe is. This is the beginning of the Truckee River. The Truckee River flows for 121 miles in a northeasterly direction until it gets to Pyramid Lake, where it simply evaporates and soaks into the ground. The small concrete dam across the outflow is built to help control flooding in the Truckee River. It can influence the level of Lake Tahoe about 10 feet. We worked our way back around the north side of Lake Tahoe, crossing back into Nevada and through the community of Crystal Bay. Crystal Bay is where the deepest part of Lake Tahoe is, 1,645 feet. And then we got to the community of Incline Village. Lakeshore Boulevard in Incline Village is where the 1%ers live along Lake Tahoe. This is a neighborhood where people buy $1 or $2 million homes, tear them down, and put $5, $6, $8, $10, $12 million homes in their place. We didn't do a very good job of filming the houses as we drove down Lakeshore Boulevard, but believe me, it takes more than a few coins to live in this neighborhood. There's a small park along Lakeshore Boulevard known as Aspen Grove that has special meaning to me and Lindy, for it was in this very spot in July of 2005 she did me the great honor of agreeing to become my wife.